Thank you, Julia. Welcome, everybody, to Recovery Dharma. My name's Josh, and I'm the facilitator here Tuesday nights. I'm from Petaluma, California, but I'm facilitating for the Soul Center in Spokane, Washington. Uh, for the month of February, which is already about a third through, we are exploring the second noble truth of Buddhism. And Julia has brought forth for the entire year of 2026 the topics, monthly topics, um, going back to basics of a Buddhist practice. We started in January with the first noble truth of Buddhism, which Julia has reframed as, rather than saying there is suffering, is there is discomfort. And now that we've gotten past that, going into February, we're going to explore the second noble truth, which is that there are conditions that cause this discomfort. Um, Being human comes with so many wonderful things, but there's also certain realities that in this life there will be conditions that cause us discomfort. And there's a very broad spectrum of discomfort, from the gnat flying around my cereal bowl this morning to unspeakable grief. I, if I'm going to do some cross meeting, cross talk for those who were here last night, some very sad news was shared that a member of the Sangha lost their life to suicide. And I see that there's a candle burning tonight on the altar that was the same candle burning last night for that member. Um, that level of pain and despair and grief that individuals go through that causes them to do that is just unimaginable. I've had the misfortune of experiencing people close to me doing that, and it's words cannot describe that level of suffering and discomfort. And I sincerely wish that anybody going through anything even close to that will find a way to get help, to reach out to us or somebody else or professionals. It is just so important to me to know, for everybody here to know, like, this Sangha, this community, people are here, and this is a matter of life or death, literally. Um, in the talk last night, for obvious reasons, a lot of heavy things were shared. The word trauma came up a lot, and that topic in that context, I started thinking a lot about my younger years, um, and I'm of the age where I grew up in the '70s, in a small mountain town in California, that we were basically feral children. Uh, if anybody lived in small towns in the '70s, especially out here on the West Coast, maybe you could relate. It was populated by a community of stoners and Vietnam veterans and hippie burnouts and people that had to go try to make a go of it in a small town. Um, and it was kind of a wild upbringing, in the sense of like being literally little wild animals. Us children roamed around in packs of 2 to 5, without really knowing where our parents were, and then not knowing where we were. Um, and parts of that were amazing. They were great. There was a freedom that came with that I don't think many children get these days. Um, and then there was part of it of being relatively vulnerable in that environment. Children were exposed to different levels of bad experiences. Some really, really bad, some just sort of bummers. Um, and thinking of those conditions for young people, I've harbored a lot of resentment and animosity. And then with this practice over the last couple of years, I started developing a little more sympathy for the adult figures in that community as well, because I was reflecting on the nature of the age of the people that I look back on as being adults. And so many of our parents back then were young parents. These were people who they were young, as young or younger than my adult children are now. And in this day and age, my adult children now are nowhere near raising families. Um, and so it made me think of like what sort of conditions those people were going through um, as they struggled to do their best, which, as I mentioned earlier, I remember Julia saying, sometimes our best is really not that great. Uh, and looking at it, taking one step further back, those young parents of our generation were the children of people who went through a giant world war and a Great Depression, and there's just these giant world events over generations that, I mean, discomfort is a very mild way of putting it, but these conditions that these folks were exposed to, it's amazing we all did as well as we did, um, or we're all doing as well as we are. This practice, I find, has opened my mind uh, in so many different ways. Uh, One of which is reflecting on trauma and not taking it quite as personally. My The fact that I was born here on this planet into this human existence sort of came with a mandatory amount of suffering. I don't know how much that's going to be. I'd like to think that I've already experienced the worst of it, but uh, I think that's Pollyanna. As long as I'm alive, I will experience discomfort. I will experience grief, a loss. I'm definitely not going to get any younger. Um, but that's just the price we pay for the miracle of having this human life, which I wouldn't trade for the world. It's wonderful to be here. Of all the things that had to come together for me to have the awareness to talk to this group of people on a Tuesday night, um, you know, we're all lottery winners. You know, I put together a little bit of a meditation. It's not super long tonight, but if you'd like to find yourself a spot to sit and join me, I'm going to invite my bowl to sing here. Just one moment. So go ahead and find your position of comfort. If stillness is available, close your eyes or soften your gaze. If stillness is not available, feel free to move about. But settle into your body as you begin to breathe with intention. Fill your lungs with each inhale and empty your lungs on each exhale. No need to rush, no need to hold your breath. but just let the air flow. After a few cycles of breath, bring your attention to your body. Notice whatever supports your weight as it holds you to the earth, whether it's your seat cushion or your mattress, your car seat, or the soles of your shoes. Allow yourself to relax into that support, but relax without collapsing. In this posture, you can be both strong and soft. And breathe. Now, imagine yourself on the shore of a large, slow river on a beautiful sunny day. Warm sand under your feet, blue sky above. As you look at the water, it's so inviting that you can't resist wading in. As your feet go into the water, it's cool and refreshing. Not so cold as to be uncomfortable. As you walk deeper into the water, you start to float. First thing you notice is how easily you float in this water. Even if you're not normally comfortably swimming, you find it easy to relax as you drift with the current along the top of the water, gazing up at the sky and breathing. After some time floating, you notice that the current has pulled you pretty far downstream. You try to swim back upstream to the shore where you walked in, but you realize the river has become too strong for you to swim out. You still have no difficulty floating, but now you're being carried by the river. As you find yourself being carried, unable to swim out of the river, what feelings arise? Does this cause you anxiety, fear? You feel a sense of surrender or maybe excitement? Whatever arises, simply observe those thoughts and those feelings gently and breathe. Now, as you're floating, you notice that the current is speeding up. You start to hear something off in the distance. As you float, you find yourself floating faster. You hear the noise approaching, growing louder. You look and see rocky rapids ahead. And as you approach these rocks, you very wisely position your body with your feet in front of you, being careful to cross your ankles. As you plunge into those rapids, start paddling furiously with your arms, avoiding all the dangerous spots in the rapids, the big rocks. As you travel over those rapids, your actions prevent you from any serious harm. But when you reach the other end and the water calms again, you feel your backside is bruised and scraped. You're breathing hard from the effort. Consider how just imagining this experience makes your body feel. Maybe a little adrenaline, a little fear, maybe a little anger at having this idea proposed to you. But again, observe these thoughts gently. And with each inhale, say to yourself, these conditions caused me discomfort. But with each exhale, my wise thoughts and actions reduced my harm. Now, picture this river as it carries us along on this journey, becoming murky and muddy and dark as it flows through a dark forest. As you float along, the trees block the sun. It gets darker and darker. And you realize you're unable to even see through the shadows. But as you're floating, you hear sounds from the shore, sounds of unfamiliar animals, sounds of things moving in the darkness. What kind of stories arise as you drift in this unfamiliar place? Unable to see, unable to know what's out there? How does floating in this uncertainty feel to your body? Is there a tightness in your stomach? Desire to get away? Perhaps it's simply curiosity. But again, be gentle with these thoughts and don't judge them. You're safe. Simply observe these as you breathe. Watch them float by. And remember, these moments of discomfort are just part of the human experience. Now, picture yourself paddling with purpose, swimming downstream to get out of this dark forest and murky water, going with the current until you emerge from the murky forest and back into the sunshine. As you get out in the sunshine, notice the water clearing. Once again, you can see the shoreline, beautiful sky above. And you notice that the shoreline doesn't seem to be passing by quite as quickly as it was. You feel the current is slowing. You're able to swim in the river with a little more command. As you paddle around to a bend in the river, it widens out to another beautiful stretch. Calm water, nice sandy shores. As the water shallows, wade out of the water and sit down on the warm sand, watching the river and reflecting. As you watch the water flow by, consider how this river was here long before any of us, and it'll remain flowing long after we're all gone. On our short trip down this river, the conditions that caused our discomfort weren't punishment for doing something wrong or not getting it right. They were simply the nature of the river. Our thoughts and our actions may affect our individual experiences, but this river of life will continue to flow. and all of us will continue to float together in its water. Namaste. Thanks for joining us all tonight, everybody. It's always good to see your faces. I'd like to offer dedication of merit. May the merit of this practice flow out to all beings everywhere. May we remember the conditions that cause us discomfort are, like every other thing, temporary in nature. And may all beings everywhere live in comfort, safety, and peace. Namaste.